Good morning. Today we are making packet number 8 video. It is due next week, Tuesday on March 3rd. It is the last day of the trimester, so there will be no lates accepted. You have to have it turned in by Tuesday. If you turn it in by this Friday, you'll get to fix your mistakes, work on those corrections. Well, let's look at what we're doing. So on the first page, Ryan agrees to care for his neighbor's sloth while they go on a 2-week vacation. His neighbors give him 2 options for payment. Plan A, Ryan would get $2 on day 1, $4 on day 2, $6 on day 3, $8 on day 4, and so on. So, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they are going for 2 weeks, we know there are 7 days in a week. So I'm going to count my numbers up to 14, 2 weeks. Then I'm going to go and say, okay, how much money is he getting on each day? The first day he gets $2. The second day he gets $4, and then $6, and then $8, and so on, filling in your numbers underneath every day. And at the end, you're going to add up every day's amount to get a total amount that you are paid. So you're going to get a total amount for Plan A. Plan B, Ryan would get 2 cents on day 1, 4 cents on day 2, 8 cents on day 3, 16 cents on day 4, and so on. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to number out my 14 days. And I'm going to say, okay, on day 1, he gets 0.02. On day 2, he gets 0.04. Day 3, he gets 0.08. Day 4, he gets 0.16. And I'm going to look to see what is the pattern of how I'm increasing. For Plan A, it was easy to see that flat pattern for increasing. For Plan B, look to see how we're increasing. And you're going to continue increasing it all the way through the 14 days. Then, just like with Plan A, you're going to add all the days together to get your total amount you would be paid. Then it says, which plan should he choose? Well, he's going to want to choose the one that he makes the more money on. And how much more money will he make with that plan? So you have to subtract the 2 to say how much more money he's made. So you want to make sure that you're following your patterns correctly. How you're increasing for Plan A, how we're increasing for Plan B. We're doing different operations for the 2 different plans. Then you go back and you add together every day to see your total amount that you would get with each plan. And I need to see all work that you're doing showing. Some of us might know mathy strategies with equations. I need to see what you're doing. You can't just write down numbers, this total and this total. You have to show me how you got the total for Plan A, show me how you got the total for Plan B, and then what math you did to figure out how much more the correct plan would make. Next page, arrange the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the circles below. You may use each number only once, and all numbers must be used. There are 6 circles, 6 numbers. The sum of each side of the triangle should be the same. Find all 4 solutions, different totals, different sums for each of the triangles. So if I add these 3 circles together, and then I add these 3 circles together, and I add these 3 circles together, they're all going to equal the same amount. So this wouldn't be an answer, but if you had all 3 numbers here, they would equal 3. So then you add these 3 numbers together, they would equal 3. And you add these 3 numbers together, they would equal 3. Obviously that won't work because of the numbers that we have to use. But there are 4 different totals that work. Show me those combinations. Why your answer makes sense? Well, you filled them in. Then we have our 5-card challenge. Using those cards, equaling the 2. We have 2 4s, so your equations can have 2 4s. You cannot put something like 10 minus 4 minus 4, and then again 10 minus 4 minus 4, because you're flipping where the 2 4s are. That's going to count as the same equation. Okay. Elliot.
Could you do, if you're doing like 10 minus 8 and then 10 minus what's the square?
Are they different numbers that you're putting in your equation?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But be careful with the order of operations. Sometimes you have to use parentheses. So make sure if you need parentheses, you put them in. Next page is our pattern page. We need to complete the entire table. In our first figure, there is 1 yellow. There are no blues, so there is 1 total black. Be careful with that. Some of us that have turned in for me to check, put combined figure 1 and figure 2. Figure 1 only has 1 black. It is just 1 yellow. So make sure you're putting that 0 in for the blue. A lot of us missed that. Packet 7, same thing happened. We got off with our columns. Our second figure, we have 5 yellow, 4 blue, 9 total. Then we have 9, 16, 25. We have 13, 36, 49. Now, to complete our table, look to see what pattern you have. How are we increasing for the yellow? How are we increasing for the blue? How are we increasing for the total blocks? Oh, what are my favorite kind of numbers?
Perfect squares.
Perfect squares fall into our patterns so easily. So you can look at those perfect squares, look at what patterns there are, and you can finish those columns easily. Next page. Remember, the area of the figure is the whole figure. So this whole figure, you need to figure out, oh, that's a goofy shape. I might do something like, 2 rectangles, the little rectangle and the big rectangle. Figure out what this amount and this amount is to do my length times width. Figure out this amount with this amount times length times width. Add them together for that full figure. To find the area of the shaded region, you take that whole figure, and what are we going to subtract out of it? The white figure, that white rectangle, and you are left with your shaded. Well, here is our white. So once you find that whole figure, subtract out your white, you're left with your shaded. Show your work. The next page, our volume of this cube is 729. To find the volume of the cube, it's length times width times height. We know that equals 729. The question that we have to answer is, what is the surface area? So the formula to find the surface area would be all 6 sides of our cube squared. So find the area of one of the sides, length times width. So if it was a 2, It's a cube, so all of my sides would be a 2, right? Length times width, and that's the squaring. And then there are 6 squares on a cube. So obviously it's not a 2, because I wouldn't give you the answer. You figure out what number would work that would give us 729 as an answer. So you're gonna have to put in some of your math skills. Sometimes it's guessing and checking. Saying, if I put a 5 in for my side length, what would I get for a volume? Length times width times height. Would that give me that volume? If it doesn't, I can't use a 5 for my surface area. Okay. Guess and check some numbers, narrow it down to find what number gives us 729 for a volume, then use that side length to get the surface area. That is the answer you're going to put for your answer. Show your work. Now, this is a new page for us on this packet. All subsequent packets are going to have a page like this. So we need to learn these formulas. He gives us help with some of the sides, the base, the height, and the length. He'll give us some of those numbers. We have to solve for the missing one. So you're going to want to fill in your formulas. The formula of a rectangular prism is length times width times the height. So what I would do is say, well, 144 is our volume. I have a length of 8 times a width of 2, and I'm solving for that height. So I'm going to do opposite operations to get that height by itself. So if I'm multiplying, I need to divide them out. So I'm left with just the height. The way to check your answer, multiply all 3 numbers together. Do you get that for your volume? For a cube, length times width times height, but they all need to be the same number. Then we have the triangular prism is the base times the height times the length divided by 2. For a pyramid, length times width times height divided by 3. A cylinder is pi r squared times h. A cone is pi r squared height divided by 3. And our sphere is 4/3 times pi r cubed. Now, for pre-algebra, you need to pick 3 of these shapes. You do not have to do every single one. Pick 3. For this one, there's an easy one that's given to us because we've seen that cube volume of 729 before. If you solve the page before, it's going to help you know what those side lengths are. That's an easy one. Highly recommend you throw that one in. Do you have to just do 3, or could you challenge yourself and do more? You can challenge yourself and do more. Most definitely. Geometry stuff like this is on the map test that we will have in the spring. We're going to want to make sure we know how to do these formulas. You have to do at least 3 to get the credit on this page. Our next page is Fibonacci numbers. We are going to have more work with Fibonacci numbers in future packets. What we need to know to complete this Fibonacci pattern is know that to get to our next number, we add the 2 numbers before it. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. Continue the pattern. Add the 2 numbers together to get the next number. So continue your pattern for those Fibonacci numbers. Mean, median, and mode. Oh, I've had some friends turning this in not understanding exactly what to do. We are given 12 items. So you should write out all 12 prices in order, least to greatest. So my smallest amount here I see is 75 cents, and I have 4 tomatoes for that 75 cents. So as I write out my numbers, I'm gonna put 4 tomatoes. Then my next number, 99 cents, I have 2 of them. So I'm gonna put that next. Make sure you have all 12 numbers listed. And then find your mean, median, and mode. Mean, you add them all up, divide them by the total amount of 12. Median, the middle. If there are 2 numbers in the middle, can we have 2 medians, Henry?
No, you add the 2 numbers in the middle and then divide them by 2.
You have to find that mean of the 2 numbers. You add them together and divide by 2. Mode means most. Which of those amounts do we see the most? And our last page is our polynomials. We know how to do those. If you continue to have questions on the packet, make sure you come and ask me. Turn it in by Friday and you'll get to fix your mistakes. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.